Peace and blessings, love and light. Pray the Most High gives me insight.
Welcome to the space where worlds become portals and the soul remembers. I'm Aliciadione, and this is Soul Work. Let's begin. I robbed Peter to pay Paul, but both of them still side-eye me like I ain't paid enough already. In peace, in pride, in sleepless nights, money slips through my fingers like water with somewhere else better to be. By the time I make change, change has already made me bitter, tired, bruised by a system that hugs with one arm and takes with the other. The fridge hums louder than I do. These bills are bullies. I count quarters like confessions, stacking my sins at the gas station altar. Depression don't knock anymore. It's got a key now. Kicks his shoes off in my chest and stretches out my soul. Still, I show up. Mistreated on the job or unemployed and ghosted by options. Either way, I wear a smile like armor. Pray it holds until lunch. Sometimes survival ain't a day at a time. It's this next hour, this next breath, this next minute of me not giving in. But I still believe in morning, in miracles in plain clothes, in the kind of faith that don't need sight, just one more reason to keep going. Hold on, just hold on. Even if your grip is weak, even if you're holding with tear soaked hands and doubt tucked in your back pocket, hold on. I know it's been a long day. You stop expecting the light. You stopped answering when hope knocks because disappointment always shows up first. But better doesn't always bust in. Sometimes it tiptoes. Sometimes it crawls. Sometimes it starts with you getting up one more time than you laid down. This storm wasn't made to last forever, but you were. And there's something sacred about the way you still rise, even if it's slow, even if it is silent. Your story ain't done. Your next chapter ain't built on lack, it's built on you. So breathe, rest if you must, but don't let go. What is meant for you is already in motion. Let's see where it leads. Your soul already knows. The cards are just catching you up. It is been God's promise that He would never flood the earth again. But the rainbow also speaks of hope. It brings inspiration. So over the next couple of pictures, whichever picture calls out to you, and yes, there is a rainbow in each one. I'll even help with a guide. If you can see the rainbow, but you're just like, that's not impressive, you choose number one. If you can't find the rainbow, like you just can't see it at all, please choose number two. And if you see the rainbow at number three and you're like, That is a beautiful rainbow. Choose number three.
One, two, or three. What's meant to be? Let your soul decide. Let your spirit see. Select your path, don't hesitate. Your message awaits.
If you chose number one, the one that is the unimpressive rainbow, we're going to look into it and see why you found this rainbow so unimpressive. It is beautiful if you look at it, it's very unique. But I know, you haven't had the time to stop and look up and admire the birds chirping, the butterflies fluttering, because your mind has been strictly on making this money. Like, you haven't been doing any of the things that you enjoy doing because you're focused on making this money. Now, don't think that you're the only person that the economy has hit. The economy got everybody out here robbing Peter to pay Paul. But let's dig a little bit deeper into this and find out why. Because I see here in your past energy, you were seeking knowledge, you were looking for someone to mentor you. Hmm, let's take a look. All right, so it looks like here with the Emperor card that you could be looking for your father's okay, your father's at a girl or at a boy or great. Maybe you're looking for something like that because, as I stated, your previous energy was looking for a mentor or seeking knowledge. And most people should be able to turn to their father or a father like figure who they view as someone strong and protective to help guide them through situations. Um, it could easily be a mother as well. If you have no father, maybe you have a mother situation where you're looking to your mother and you're trying to make your mother proud. And the one thing that you're focused on is your success, rising up against the odds, breaking the mold, because that's something that you feel that you've always done, and you feel like that's what it's going to take to get your father's attention the way that you want it. And then I'm also showing here that you've been dealing with a lot of anxiety. Well, here, let me tell you something that's going to help with that anxiety. Whatever is meant to be, will be. There is nothing you or I can do to change it. It will be what it will be. The other thing that you have to worry about with the anxiety is that this could also be um, an illness. It could be due to illness. It could be due to a job situation, or it could be just someone that you was digging on that wasn't digging on you and rejected you. So that's something else that we have. And then there's the message of strong will and triumph that comes out. So basically, you're seeking knowledge. You're looking to the father figure for this knowledge. You know that you can break the mold and come out of it and get his attention by being successful. But you have this anxiety and this sadness that makes you, that could potentially make you ill, make you feel rejected, but you do have this strong will that's working towards you. Let's see how we can resolve this. All right, how can you start to get back up on your feet financially? Well, first thing you can do is start showing gratitude and being grateful for the things that you have. I'm coming up that right now, that because you're so busy chasing the paper that you don't give thanks and gratitude to the most high for that he gives you, so you end up lacking in a lot of areas other than financially. Another thing is that it seems as though you are hiding. You are in hiding. You are being a shadowy figure. And just come out of the shadows. Why are you being creepy? I mean, come out the shadows, meet people, embrace people, talk to people. You never know who you'll cross paths with or who you will build a bridge with for later on down the road. Sometimes we stand in our own way because we are so set and have our eyes so focused on what it is that we want to do that we sometimes forget to just stop, just stop overdoing it. And I still show here that you are like a starving artist, competitive. So maybe if you find you a competition, paint you a new piece, do something to tickle that creative feather that you have, and that could be a way of bringing money in. People look at creativity a lot of different ways. If you're a chef, it could be how you cook your food and then how you plate it. If you're a bakery, it's how you intertwine the flavors of what you're baking into what you're making so that it stands outside of your competitions and it's far more excellence. Sometimes we need to think about the way that we're processing things in our mind. So if you think outside of yourself and you try to look at yourself in the third person, you'll see so many things differently. It'll help you gain a better perspective on how you're attacking things. And you're probably asking, well, how does all of that give me, the financial part that I want? How does that get me what I want? Well, when you stop trying to please others and you start working on self and you're able to take your things that are out of balance and put them in balance, you're in a better position to hear the divine when he speaks to you. When the Most High gives you a business deal that may be worth thousands of dollars, you're able to get it and capitalize off of it. Sometimes your blessings don't come in a form of money. You just have to know what to do once those blessings come to you. If you chose this stack, then you and I have something more in common than we initially thought because I too chose this stack. So, majority of the time when you're down and out and you're going through things, some people will stop and look to the hills for which cometh their help. They raise their eyes to the sky for a gleam of hope, and a rainbow can be that gleam of hope for somebody that's in a really, really down space. But is this stack the stack that gets really down in the down space and look up at the rainbows? Let's talk about that. Our past energy speaks of happiness and having a healthy home and family, enjoying the hard works of our labor and spoiling ourselves the way nobody else can. Suddenly, the sky cracks open, and life as you know it is up in flames. The bright orange and yellow blinds you, and the charming white night steals your heart. Sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? Mm-mm, baby. Mm-mm. It's a nightmare. But you know what? We got this. So, what does any of that have to do with money? Well, part of the reason why we are in a financial bind is because we offer money to those in need, and we offer money to those who we love because to us it's just material things for the most part. Like we really we really dig people, and when we dig people, we love them from the bottom and will give them our last. And unfortunately, some people take advantage of that, like the Son of Wands. Here he comes, slithering up through here, thinking he looking all good, being charming, But we all know that perfection is an illusion. So, what is this snake really trying to show us about ourselves? The Four of Swords tells us that we need to look inward without fear to deal with the mental pressures. We need to meditate, recuperate, and get on down before the Son of Wands strikes at us. But we're so in our Nine of Cups energy. We're so in bliss, and what we feel is harmony. We feel like this is a wish come true. Like, yes, like, I finally got that. I finally got my guts. And it's like, you guys are up, you're being lovers. He's honoring and respecting you, and he's speaking French and saying, ooh, wee, wee. And you guys are building this solid foundation in the relationship. But are you really building a solid foundation? Have you really been grateful and gave gratitude for the things that you have? Is this a rare gem that you should treasure? And the word gem comes at me two ways. Yes, like gem is in the gemstone, but there's also gem as if the person that you're chasing is constantly in the gym working out, bench pressing. They might be of a muscular build, toned, like you like them. We all likes what we likes. But the thing about having the things that we feel like we want, the devil always comes around and shows his head at some point in time. And at this current point in time, you're at a point where you need closure. You need to transform yourself and think positive. Because the truth of the matter is, I do believe I said this earlier, regardless of what you do, how hard you fight, kick, and scratch, it's going to happen either way. It's nothing you can do to change it. It's going to happen. The best thing you can do for you is get out the way. You've been told twice. We have been told twice to get out the way. And if you anything like me, you just a little bit hard headed. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Okay. All right. So how do we take this information and transform it so that it helps with our financials? Well, first of all, we gotta establish a balance. We need a necessary balance. I know that I need balance because sometimes things are so overwhelming. It feels like I got the whole solar system juggling in my hands and I got the burdens of the world on my back. But, you know, you got to keep transforming through the decay. That's what the vulture shows us. Most of us look at vultures and be like, ugh. But vultures come through and they clean up the nasty things, the dead things, the things that mean us no good. That's their job. So this card is saying, stop denying your emotional truth. Stop being cynical. Just go ahead, go through this transition and be a big girl. And then as I thought that this message was already too deep in my life, Spirit came out with, oh, let me hit you with a special one. Came out with the dragon card. And everybody knows that dragons are mythical creatures. They probably existed at some point in time, but this one indicates seeing one's true self. Again, balance that ego. You got a big ego, such a huge ego. You got to balance that. Everything has to have checks and balance. All right, so for sure, that's a rainbow. So for those of you who picked this stack, boy, y'all don't miss nothing. Even in the times where you feel like the world is against you, you feel like you stuck in a barrel full of crabs. You don't forget to take the time to look and notice and see things. And that's good. It's nothing wrong with having your head on a swivel. Because when you have your head on a swivel, you can't get got. You know what I'm saying? You can't get taken advantage of. And that's what I see that you've been doing here. And your past energy, you were the Nine of Wands. Okay? You had strength, you had stamina, you had confidence. Boy, you was right there at having the world in your hand. Your journey was almost complete. You was almost there financially. So what happened? Let's see. The Seven of Swords lets me know that you've been moving in secrecy. And maybe that could be what happened with you being financially there. Anytime there's a secret, it always comes to the light. Whether you're the keeper of secrets or you're the one that has the secret that's being kept, either way, the truth always comes to the light. Eight of Wands lets me know of sudden movement or a change, that you've got clarity in an unresolved situation. The Six of Pentacles lets me know that you've been very generous with your coins. You make sure that you give back. But my question is, what is it that you're doing that's so shady? What is it that is so secretive? Like what you got going on? I mean, you're not a street pharmaceutical, are you? I mean, if you are, there's no judgment. Trust, there's no judgment. You got to do what you got to do because, like I said, everybody's robbing Peter to pay Paul these days. But we have the Son of Swords that comes up again. The Son of Swords, he's very well educated. He is a challenge. He's forceful. So maybe you came up against somebody that, just didn't back down from what it is that you were portraying or you were giving off. Hmm, that's food for thought. That's definitely food for thought because why else? But you know what? Who else? You know what? The Son of Sword could also be police presence because we already got here that you're being secretive. You got this sudden movement, this change, this clarity in an unresolved situation. And then you got this generosity almost as if you're paying people off. And then here comes the Son of Swords coming in to be forceful and to take action and not give you any grace at all. So be careful with that. That's be very careful with that. So then we also have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups speaks of greed, discontent, and you not taking your life or your situation. Um, well, it's telling you not to take it for granted. There's a lot of people that look at you and they envy your life. So you're hustling, you're doing your thing to try to make money come through. But then there's somebody that's watching you that's jealous of what it is that you're able to do because they can't do it. You also have here the Seven of Cups. And yes, Spirit threw out a lot of cards for y'all. And instead of me saying, no, I'm not gonna take that, I was like, you know what? Go ahead and give me no cards. Let me go ahead and break it down. So the Seven of Cups is letting me know that there is temptation being faced everywhere. You don't know which way is up. It is an illusion, it is a deception. It's time to get out the game. Whatever it is that you're doing that concerns all this secrecy, this fast movement, this forceful person to come into your life, it's time to step away. Sometimes you got to know when to give up and move on to something else. You've reached all that you can reach out of this path. And if you don't get out the way, they're going to move you out the way by force, or however they have to do it. The Five of Cups is telling us that there's grief and there's disappointment when it comes to the relationship and the family falling apart, and that at this turn of time, don't make any hasty decisions. Um, Take your time and think about it, and think about the expectations that you have for others, and if that is an expectation that you yourself can do, because you can't expect something from others that you yourself cannot give. But overall, the chariot comes through and it shows that you will be triumphant. You have very strong will. How does this relate to your money? Here, I'll break it down to you in just a second. The short answer to your question, to sum this up for you, is if you are doing something currently that is often frowned at as a way to make money, now's a good time to stop. You've seen warnings telling you to stop, that it's time to get out the game, and you ain't paid attention to it because you're just trying to get this last, you want to run this last lick. But now is not the time to run that last lick. Now is the time to get what you got and get gone. That is the long and the short and the most simplest part of it, because if the enforcement of the law comes about, that deeply impacts your money, because you have restitution, you have court fees, you have lawyer fees, and you have to have commissary. Like it adds up to where it really puts you in a worse situation than you're in currently. Not everything that you do is meant to be for an extended period of time. You've been completely blessed at this point and been protected by grandparents, grandmothers, and mothers' prayers, that you haven't encountered anything at this point. But now is the time, emphasis on now, to stop whatever you're doing and get on the straight and narrow path. There is better ways of making money. I mean, you like fast money? They got DoorDash, they got Spark, they got Uber Eats, they got Lyft. You got options. You don't have to necessarily work for somebody else. When you do those jobs, you're considered an independent contractor. So you're working for yourself. You make your own schedule. If you apply the hustle that you have right now toward doing something for yourself, such as in being an independent contractor for DoorDash, Walmart, Spark, like, you will see the same amount of money, if not more. It's just that you have to pay taxes on it at the end. You get what I'm saying? All right, and here is the how you're going to be able to make the necessary changes to go legit. Let's just say that that is your story. We have the otter here, and the otter has a lot of contentment, joy, playfulness. Um, it's stay in touch with your inner child. um, do things that you find pleasing. If you have children, do things with your children. Spend time that you haven't been able to spend with them, because when you spend time with your kids, you're building memories for them. You're shaping and molding them as to how they should be as an adult. Um, you also want to avoid making silly excuses. And yes, silly excuses is something that, once you stop making any type of excuse for yourself, you'll find yourself holding yourself accountable, and your finances, by not making excuses and holding yourself accountable and doing a legit hustle, you won't have to worry about the money or where you're going to get the next $5 from, because you're doing things the right way. um, all right, so Spirit left us with a bonus message. Spirit, I guess, wanted to be sure that, I got these three particular points driven home For all three, pick a cards. Regardless of which card you pick, or even if you didn't pick a card and you're just back there in the shadows, in the bushes, and you're watching or you're cross watching, all of this can go for you as well. So the message that was left in the box is that urgently pack your bags and move on. There's not any hope of rekindling what has been lost. You're steady trying to seek the meaning and trying to understand when it's putting you in stagnation and you're making yourself sick. So it's time to move on. That's the message that the Eight of Cups gives us. You see how all of those cups are broken and shattered? Yes, it's nothing there for you anymore. So the sun is of speaks of joy and clarity and illumination. That means your breakthrough is coming. It's a complete yes. Truth, renewal, a new chapter of light and laughter and soul alignment. Don't be afraid to let go, because what you have ahead of you is much more valuable than what you have lost. And where you had 8 cups that was broken, you now have the Ace of Cups. You have some blocked emotions. You need self love. You're overwhelmed. Reconnect with your own heart. Emotionally drained, or you've been given without receiving. It's time to put back into you so you can be the best you. Out of all things, that is the best thing you can do to help yourself in a situation where you are struggling and you don't know which way is up. So I hope this message received you well. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings and gratitude. And we will catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Stars collapsing just to rise. May you discover all that your spirit sees. May abundance and blessings overtake you. Even when you're lost, may love still find your feet. You're an over in the dark, let the light remake you. You gave your heart without a measure, in a world that gave you. I see your light, it don't dim mine. We're stars in the same sky, perfectly aligned. Your win is my win, your voice is my song. We've been strong alone, but together we're strong. Shine with me, don't dim to compete. Let's rise, let's ride, move to the same beat. There's space, there's grace, we both can be free. I'm not your rival, I'm your legacy, yeah. Shine with me. Shine with me. I see your light, it don't dim mine. We're stars in the same sky, perfectly aligned. Your win is my win, your voice is my song. We've been strong